The Empty House by Unknown. From Adventures into the Unknown No. 3, February 1943. Hunted by Greed. The lobby of the Pioneer Hotel in Red Gulch was a crowded spot, jammed with people who were vainly trying to register. But there wasn't a room to be had. It was rodeo week, and every lodging place in town was filled to capacity. But even if rooms were available, that wouldn't have helped Silk, Lefty, and Pete, three crooked characters who had drifted into town looking for easy pickings. They were dead broke and in search of a victim. And now, they figured, they had found one. For the man speaking to the room clerk was none other than Slim McKee, a noted prospector, just in from one of his periodic gold hunts. Slim was known for his luck in never returning empty-handed, and this time was no exception, judging from the bulk in his waist, which spelled an overflowing money belt. But he was also known as a mighty fighter and dead shot, which was the reason why Silk, Lefty, and Pete were laying their plans carefully. "He's a friendly cuss who trusts every body," whispered Silk, "and he's got to find some place to sleep. I've been thinking about that old empty house just outside of town, the one these local yokels claim is Haunt Ed. We'll tell him we're going to bunk there and invite him to come along. We talk about a ghost there, see, and laugh at it like it's a big joke. But when we get him in there, we make with the spooky stuff. The innocent yap will be scared so silly that we can take him off guard, slip him the business, and make off with his gold." The plot seemed to work like a charm. Slim McKee was charmed by their friendly offer and agreed that talk of ghosts must be purely foolish local gossip, and so off they went to the haunted house. It was already dark when they reached it, and they couldn't deny that it was an eerie-looking structure. Unconsciously, they lowered their voices as they entered the old and abandoned place. Inside was dust and ruination, together with an odd and oppressive atmosphere which cast a strange terror in all except Slim McKee. "Sure I'm sleepy, boys," he announced as he folded his coat into a pillow. "Guess I'll hit the hay." Silk nudged Lefty. "Time to start in with the business," he whispered. "Give out with some good sound effects, spook variety." He grinned approvingly as a weird clanking filled the air. "Attaboy," he muttered. Lefty gulped, his face startled. "I didn't make that noise," he breathed. "It came from upstairs. Maybe it was Pete." Silk was about to speak, but stopped. Lefty's face, why was it that unearthly color? What gave it that corpse-like blue tint? It was a ghostly light that was bathing the room. Where did it come from? His eyes were playing him tricks. That was it. Better get on with the business of scaring Slim McKee until he was ripe for plucking. "Okay," he muttered, licking his lips. "Here goes with a genuine phantom groan." He opened his mouth, then stopped suddenly. "Ah!" It had come from upstairs, no doubt about it, a long drawn-out, wailing moan like an echo from an old tomb. It must be Pete. Couldn't be anybody else. "Pete!" Silk found himself shouting hoarsely. "Pete!" In answer came a high-pitched, gurgling scream of horrible fright. Past the doorway ran Pete, his face a mask of pale horror. He didn't bother opening the sagging old front door. He crashed right through it. A choked gasp, a whir of movement. That was Lefty following him. Abandoned by his accomplices, Silk found every limb a-tremble as he edged fearfully into the hall. Almost against his will, he felt his glance being drawn to the staircase. Then his eyes widened, and his mouth opened to shriek, for on the stairs stood the thing. Now it was coming toward him, silently, on and on. He tried to run, but he was paralyzed. Scream after scream burst from his lips, but then the creature was upon him, and the screaming stopped. Disgustedly, Slim McKee left the old house. He'd had enough, hard enough for a man to get his sleep without all those strange noises. "It must have been those guys, trying to make me believe that place was really haunted," he grumbled. As if I'd ever fall for any of that stuff.
And so, our terrifying tale comes to a ghastly close, a haunting reminder that cultural norms are but a graveyard of forgotten values. The creepy attitudes, blood-curdling language, and spine-tingling customs depicted herein may send shivers down your spine, but remember, they're part of our shared nightmare. This story is screaming to be shared, proudly presented in the public domain, where it will linger like a ghost, free to possess your imagination. Farewell, dear victim. Dear reader. May our tale leave you dying for more.